result for Houston. They are just 8 points out of 4th place. But a loss today would put them on the brink of elimination. Anything but a win will knock Angel City out of contention for the playoffs. We are underway. The final game, match day 24, the National Women's Soccer League from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, Angel City in the Houston Dash. You and I are just grateful the weather does in fact look and feel brilliant in LA today. Far cry from what we've seen in a few other games. It was 96% humidity in Orlando. It was an hour-long delay in Utah. This is a blessing. Tiernan playing early. Jonsdottir the target. And flicked out a play by Puntigam.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Fuller over the penalty spot. Ooh. Neely Martin, and now lifted up and over by Abby Smith. Remains in for the injured Jane Campbell. Real chance for Tiernan and Angel City.
Good piece of goalkeeping from Abby Smith in the end, but a great delivery there. Helped on by Neely Martin. Tiernan just ready for it. She meets it perfectly, so it's soaring over Abby Smith, but that's actually really good foot.
Start this season. Actually became the starter for the final 3 weeks before the international break, before Jane Campbell took the job back. This service left a bit more to be desired. Puntigam away. Shores. Balls to the backside, Fuller. Good statement of intent from Angel City in the opening minutes.
Yeah, look. Like they came to play.
Yeah. Norwegian manager named in April, but took over at the beginning of June. Off the mark from Larissy. And knocked wide by Sagita. Shores. You can see Thompson calling for it on the opposite side. Continues through Sagita. Offers service that Smith was able to leap up and grab. Ina Sagita.
Don't have that creativity piece in the attack, so bringing Sugita, her movement off the ball, her ability on the ball, she will get more chances created in the attacking third for this Angel City side.
Sagita does well to push that ahead. Game number 2 with the club, 22 games earlier this year in Portland, and been with the Thorns since 2022.
She's also that type of player that doesn't need an adjustment period. Wherever she is, she just wants to play ball. She just wants to be smooth, be herself. So as soon as she has come to already elevating their level in the midfield on the pitch all over.
And I think she might be the most beloved active Thorn, which I think, even speaking with Jet Vegas a couple nights ago, the GM from Portland made it abundantly clear we didn't want to lose Sagita, but the offer is simply too good. Giselle Thompson offering for Angel City. Head toward Jonsdottir.
Exactly right, Mike. Even speaking to her.
Of course, now Chelsea 6 games into a run there between the Super League and the Women's Champions League in Europe. Jonsdottir, Sagita. Laney Sheehan. Service back through, and Fuller lines it up above the bar. That's twice Fuller has found herself that back post.
Fuller with another chance on it, almost an identical ball. She's just hitting her volleys too early. You got to wait for that to drop on the way down.
The postseason, we need to play like we have a chip on our shoulder. That's the intent tonight.
Well, and this would be the first time a head coach has been with the team all season and got the Houston Dash to the playoffs in their history. So he has an opportunity here to really leave his mark.
this is the most points accumulated.
Weathered the storm, good, bad, or indifferent, and finding a way to get the best out of their squad for an entire 10 months, that would be the achievement that Fabrice could get if they make the playoffs.
A season of marginal gains, he's described. Them on the verge. 6 points away with 3 games to go. Quite a compelling schedule as well. Service to a swath of orange. Shores, not this end, taken out of the air, right at Smith. Thorsun, center back, forward, former German international. The interviewing process. And he went around and asked each person, what did you think? And they'd say, I thought he was positive. I thought he was knowledgeable. This comes forward to Avery Patterson. Gordon intervenes. Finally, it got to Mark Parsons. And he stopped and he said, I thought I knew football. Here's Patterson, who's first into the U.S. national team scene this past year.
Yeah, I think what's standing out for me is that they definitely, but both teams have to play on it, so there's no excuse, right? It's an even pitch, even ball game for both sides.
LAFC is away this week, but we're home for back-to-back games, Wednesday and Sunday proceeding. Driving, firing, deflecting from Patterson out for that extension came under a previous coach. Ball driven in and a header that sees Smith splay out and knock it aside. Abby Smith has had a tremendous first 20 minutes.
That is such a good save. It was going a little bit wide of the goal, but she knew just to be sure. And that's what you're supposed to do right there. Head the ball down as it's rising in the air. Meet it at its highest point, get above it, head it down. It's a difficult save for a goalkeeper to get low quickly, but Abby Smith was there doing it.
Shores signed in July to a 3.5-year deal. Her 11th game at the club, nearly her second goal. First ball dealt with by the dash. Gordon there to backstop. Bowler. Across. Thorsun was still forward.
Like they're in top discussion with players around the world. That's what they want to do. They want to build it their way. Mark Parsons and Strauss, and so I would imagine they're going to have a busy offseason, and we'll see, like we talked about, what positions that they want to add depth to or upgrade, because I do think there's some fancier, bigger name players out there that would suit LA, the lifestyle, what the fans enjoy here at this club, that can come and bring a lot of energy and change on the pitch.
Look at the lineup this afternoon. Sagita, Mark Hewis of any player on the field.
When that's your leading goal scorer and one of your best players, that's not a good sign for the Dash today. Especially considering you know how much this game means, and you can't find a way to get your best player the ball or control any of the possession.
26 minutes. Alozia. See Ryan front running. Larissy. Has been hapless on the off course, nothing to show for it yet.
Very smart by Abby Smith there. She realizes she picks up the ball too wide of her goal so that if they do lose a possession, wide open, so she just dribbles the ball centrally, waiting to get more set, just in case they do pop up that ball. She's in better position to slow down a potential breakaway or transitional moment. But the problem is, if she has a quiet night or she's struggling to get going, you've got to be able to adjust and find another way to create attack.
Test in behind here. Dorsoon physically interacts with Larissy, who remains down. Tiernan holds. Second leading scorer among rookies all time in the league. Outside to Miyabi from Sagita and intercepted by Alozia. Former winger, has always been the outside back at the international level with Nigeria. He's taking that role in the Gatra system, and they're going to go back and have a look at audible buzz in Los Angeles. Sanders Strauss, Mexico. Berkeley. That giveaway. Typically such a sure player in possession. You see Larissy providing the pressure to win the ball back. She is back in the game. Yasmin Ryan. Dorsoon pops off the back line. And down goes Ryan. Free kick for Houston.
Own goal, it's not necessary to foul there. Just stand her up, keep her going backwards. She gets a little bit overzealous, and now they have a free kick in a dangerous area.
Anderson sets a wall of 4. Peak of that mountain is Jonsdottir. And Yasmin Ryan, who's hardly touched the ball in the run of play, creates this free kick. It'll take it now.
Good work from Miyabi there, especially against an opponent like Avery Pat-Fly, and that was the wrong choice there.
Alozia got there before Fuller. Nielsen. It is the pressure. And the ball toward that near post. That by Smith. Took a knock at the halfway line. You can see right there. Calling for a stoppage. Continue. But will not be there to defend what ends up being a corner. That was the argument from Houston. And now ups to Smith. You and I have talked about it over the course of this weekend as we've watched the league. The number is usually about 32 to get in. I think this year it might end up being 33 or 34. Even then, it's right there for Houston. Here's Thompson. Thompson got it through the legs of Nielsen and hits it to Smith. It's still there. If you win 2 games, 30. Sheehan. Return from Van Zanten. Driven long for Alozia, coming up from the fullback position.
To force the ball to their right-hand side, the Dash's left-hand side. The reason for that being is to keep the ball away from Yasmin Ryan, and it has worked this entire half.
And if you're going to keep it off Yasmin Ryan, you hope Van Zanten and Patterson aren't going to hurt you, and they haven't.
Well, at least the Patterson is lower on the pitch. She's an outside back. Yasmin Ryan is a winger. So she can have the ball if she wants. She just can't advance up the field if you're able to press.
Go. 4 wins, 2 losses, 4 draws since the break, 16 points. Only had 11 before the break began. A lot of people. Probably wrote them off. The fact they're in this position at all is pretty strong. Not the longest name, and only the number 9. Shouldn't take that long, but right now playing with no name and no number. She has a chance to do the funniest thing. Alozia. Dancing back inside, Yasmin Ryan continues through Sheehan. Pops it through Van Santon. That is the closest Houston has come.
Whistled for offside here, but a cheeky little ball from Delaney Sheehan to just lift that over and through. The center back lashing run centrally. She hasn't been able to get a lot of love, and that outside channel hasn't really been able to beat Gordon, beat Giselle Thompson. So why not float centrally a little bit more?
And that is halftime. Not good enough from Houston if you're trying to grab a playoff spot. Angel City, the aggressor, much of this half, 0-0.
I mean, yes, we can praise Angel City for having the majority of it, but we can also look and see that execution is key, and that's the difference of making the playoffs or not. And they've had a couple good looks on goal that they were not able to get across that white line.
So it is halftime here in Los Angeles, and no closer to finding a winner in a game both sides entered knowing a win was a practical necessity. Abby Smith has been brilliant. The Dash playoff hopes have rested on the aforementioned Valentine and Bright. So they await the go-ahead here. Angel City spent much of the first half of the season above the line, an impressive beginning under the interim manager Sam Lady. Alexander Strauss Stadium in Los Angeles. Hunstadter pushing and Smith launching. The inimitable McCall Zerboni. Like Watts, the final game of this weekend. Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoff local in LA. This is Comfort from Dorsoon on the ball. Trying to stretch that back line. Berkeley. Big a pocket of space as Yasmin Ryan has had to play in all day.
And we'll probably see more of that in the second half because she got so isolated on the right-hand side of the pitch and barely saw any of the ball. We'll naturally see her float more centrally to go hunting for the ball and get herself in a better position where the passes from the Houston Dash can reach her.
Miyabi called for it, but Shores carries. Now Miyabi. Bowler. Tiernan. Chance to hit this from range, and it's caught by Abby Smith. Turns away Paige Nielsen. Make that Neely Martin to Amanda's injury. Ball up through for Houston. Comes high, settled. Colaprico. That got blocked. Lobbed back across the face. Everyone's still forward off the set piece. Colaprico tried to keep it alive. Jonsdottir. Ryan. Held off Miyabi and Jonsdottir. Up free in midfield. Now in over the top. Anderson up in the air. Not a convincing clearance. Chip toward frame, and Anderson holds onto it this time. Delaney Sheehan. This explosion of player movement around the world with that summer window when every other league is in their off season, and with the increase in international talent coming to the NWSL, naturally that means many of those players are going to come here now.
Well, and the reason I say gaining perspective.
Bowler, Jonsdottir, slip ahead to Miyabi, and shuffled over the line for a goal kick.
Skating perspective is important because we look at what happened with Setmore, right? You know, she thought the grass isn't always greener. At a club that you're feeling everything out and you've suffered a little bit, you know, it's going to be difficult for you to identify the important things for your career.
Fuller. No look. Long run. Sagita. Ball away from Smith and hammered in. Kennedy Fuller. Angel City needs a win to stay alive. And Kennedy Fuller offers the opening goal.
And this is all Fuller for me. She's the one who picks up the ball in the midfield, is driving, gives a no-look pass. That's a lot of swag from a young player. Good. Win there from Evelyn Shores. Fuller does good to break free here, keeps driving, and actually plays that ball at the perfect time where Houston is still dropping, so they don't really have a lot of time to get organized. Sugita puts a ball in a dangerous area. Rebound from Abby Smith. Evelyn Shores continues her run here. That's the most important thing. After she delivers that ball, she doesn't stop. She continues to get herself in a goal scoring position.
Fuller's a slick no look. Sagita the cross, Smith got a piece but couldn't hold on. And Kennedy Fuller never stopped her run.
Tough there for Abby Smith because Paige Nielsen's trying to make that block, but what she does is she blocks Abby Smith's vision where she can't catch it, so she's batted away, creating the rebound. Hard following that up. A lot of players would opt to go for the far post there, and she just rips it into traffic low and hard, sneaks back.
Points and somehow get something over Kansas City. You'd have a chance to catch Portland on the last day if you'd won this game. But instead, you might be 6 out with 2 remaining, need to win out and watch Louisville lose out, and the only path you'll have is Louisville. So if they take a point off Gotham next week, your season's over. Fuller off the mark. To the backside. Flick back into Jonstadter. And Jonstadter with a slide that catches the defender Nielsen. And draws.
The bottom 5 teams. Those are the games that you have to guarantee that you're going to pick up points, and they just did not show up on those days where they were the better roster, the better team. They couldn't
see and Bright combined. Touched it only 13 times. Here comes the change that I think it's fair to say you're calling for. Anticipated. Junendo on. That's it for Jonstadter.
I'd love to see Junendo come onto the pitch. Such a quality player, but my concern here is Jonstadter was giving them that stretched ball game because she has the pace in that number 9 position, running in behind. Junendo does not have that similar quality, so how are they going to sub this player profile on? Is this too early in the match for them to go more possession oriented and play?
Well, now can they do something in the ensuing corner? Nielsen off the crossbar. Angel City got it away, and there is a foul back at the line. Paige Nielsen against her former team nods this up off the woodwork. Nearly an equalizer.
Let's not forget, people, it's just 1 goal away for the Houston Dash, and if they come this close, if that would have gone in, we're working this a completely different ball game. They're going to get a surge of energy. They're going to start attacking, but it has to be sooner than later. They've got to pop one in. They've got to level this score, and then maybe we'll see another element and level of them, but that is just not dropping their way, and the foul in the end alleviates the pressure. Woo, look at that, bouncing around in danger.
And a block kick. tactics.
Bound. But yes, this is an opportunity for Angel City to tactically get organized, figure out how they want to close out this game. And we're seeing more and more of this in the game now. It's an evolution, realizing that the goalkeeper is the only one on the pitch that if the trainer comes out, they do not have to leave charge into the penalty box on a goal kick anymore. Right? We've seen the rules change to better the game. We're all still learning and growing.
Yeah, look, the toughest part is, I bet at some point in this game she did take a knock to her foot. And I don't doubt that that doesn't feel good. It could have come in that moment as well. So it's not really that one moment. It's just so obviously apparent as the team scampers to receive tactical information from the manager with a big whiteboard and 22.
See, they need a little something.
If you fail to win this, it creates a must-win against Kansas City, who haven't lost since May next week. Ironic, I suppose. Angel City playing at home, and you're watching somewhere around the world. The LA Chargers away, playing on the other years and find her way back in. Gets to do this somewhat on her own terms, and then she'll set the terms for her next career. Driving into the area, Messiah Bright asking questions. Vanderson, double sub coming for Angel City, second and third changes that they've made. Muse comes on for Dorsun.
Interesting we're seeing Mayara come on this late in the game, because several times he opted to start her in the match when she first arrived. He mentioned that she's still getting her fitness and her form, but she used to play 75, 80 minutes, and now she's reduced to 15 minutes. So I think he's still finding his best foot forward with the players that he has, and obviously we talked about earlier that he's going after more and more players to upgrade his roster. Two double pivot midfielders protecting in front of that back line. Not a lot to stretch them, so it's clear that they're really not going for another goal. They're just going to try to hang on here. But what this does is it puts them in a lower position on the field. They're retreating. And so the Houston Dash will be able to progress the field a little bit more and get more opportunities. So they're going to have to...
Tiernan Smith touches it away. Endo was waiting to try and get a second whack at it. Muse denied. Still, it's Tiernan. Pumps the brakes through the legs of Boateng. And look, if the opportunity presents itself, of course they're going to take it. They go long, kept onside by the halfway line, let Tiernan decide.
Absolutely, and I love this vision from Tiernan. It's an early ball. A little 50-50 that forces Abby Smith to come out. Really good ball into a 50-50 searching area that creates some uncertainty, and a good run from
Chris Mincer works backward. But it was, she went for it, and Abby Smith is the only reason this is still a one-goal game.
Totally.
Miyabi flows, that ball's too high. Tiernan leaps up, and of her own volition.
Like you said, then they come to press her, and she's like, actually, this is a moment where I'm just going to even burn more time off the clock, and let's get a corner kick.
8 goals this season, and a number of moments like that. Up toward Reed. Made first contact as she was falling away. Reed came on as a substitute. The last batch. Houston Houston did put one off the crossbar from Nielsen. Off a set piece already. But the service needs to be better than that.
Ooh.
Backfield flick into space. Muse on the run, round Smith, and taps it home. June Endo, an incredible highlight that Muse is able to finish. And that is a dagger to the Houston season. And Angel City appears poised to stay alive. That is a wild goal.
I'm sorry, June Endo. What? Subbing onto this game. Hasn't touched the ball a ton. If you could just see that touch at the midfield that she made, a no-look flick. So Mayara is able to run onto it, and she had a lot of work to do. She took the ball at the midfield, runs with pace. Nobody's able to touch her because her touches are so positive. They don't slow her down at all. She's moving at a quick pace forward, draws in. Look at that. Stop it. That is so top class. The vision, the technique to put it into the stride of Mayara so it doesn't slow her down. Dribbles straight at the goal, draws in Abby Smith to come out. And now it makes you think about Angel City next season. You get June Endo going in the top form. Mayara, just incredible stuff.
There it is. Chalupia, who was acquired for $50,000 along with the international spot that she required. And Madison Hammond will provide just how much she wanted that playoff spot. How important it would be to reset the tone, the expectation. This rolling across, Shores arriving. Smith got caught in no man's land. And now Houston shot out of a cannon. They've got 8 minutes to save their season.
And she doesn't want this breakaway to continue. And here's the opportunity where the miscommunication in the box there. Abby Smith thought it was going to be cleared by her defenders. The defenders thought she was going to come out and get it, and it almost ended up being a very quality chance on goal.
There is only one team Angel City can catch. They will be watching Louisville and hoping, praying that they stumble. But Louisville has feasted on the bottom end. Of course, if any team does jump Louisville, that would be the end for Angel City as well. This is a season-saving performance for Angel City. It is a remarkably destructive performance for Houston's playoff hopes. A 2-0 win. Endo with the ultimate highlight, doesn't even score the goal. It is Fuller at 53 and Muse at 87. 2-0 final. We will step aside for a moment here in Los Angeles. Angel City defeats Houston 2-0 in match day 24.
どうせなら楽しくやらなきゃな。